It's WNCW, a little swamp pop from the Revelers here in Studio B. They're playing again tonight at the Blue Bear Mountain Fest up in Boone. You guys are referencing the changes that are happening down in your part of the country with the older folks and some of the clubs disappearing, but yet there's a whole bunch of bands. Kind of curious if there's a fault line developing between the traditionalist and the more progressive.
There always has been. There always has been. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of reflect on what's happening up here in bluegrass world, where there's there's strict traditionalists that believe bluegrass should be played a certain way, and then there's folks that say, no, damn, bluegrass is a big tent with all these names. And just curious if that was the same down your way as well.
I think you'd probably find that in no matter what genre you look at, there's always going to be a section of people that like it a certain way and a section of people who believe that it can be a different way.
Right. Is it? Do the new bands draw bigger crowds? I mean, is it? Are you playing to a younger audience or?
We play to a very mixed audience. We appeal to all generations.
That's when I moved to Lafayette from Baton Rouge, where I grew up in 2003, and I started playing Cajun music probably around I guess maybe 1999, 98. And that was one thing I noticed that I really enjoyed. There is no age limit. There are tiny little kids running around the dance floor. There's teenagers learning how to dance. Then there's mom and dad, and then there's grandma and grandpa, And I think the dance halls, so many friends tell me stories about their mom and dad bringing them to a dance hall before they could walk,
You got to learn the two-step pretty early, then.
Yeah, you got. I mean, they just you grow up in the culture, and that's it.
You get that groove.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a lot of reverence for the older musicians too who have been around.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly there's more so than in some other genres. I would say. Guys that have been around for 20, 30, 40 years. Play. Everybody goes out to see them for sure.
You guys have been part of some unique screen activity. You've made some appearances on people's TV sets. Mm-hmm. It got to be pretty exciting. You were part of Anthony Bourdain's No Reservation, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how did that come about? I'm just in thinking about traditionalists down there playing, and then you guys get the nod. I think it speaks to your expertise and talent that you can step in and out of any of these styles very easily. But how did that experience come about that you fell in with him?
We did a Treme, the HBO series Treme, which there was a guy named David Simon who was the creator of that, and The Wire is another TV show that he created. And he was Anthony Bourdain had done some writing for Treme, and when David Simon came down to do a Treme episode, they came to Louisiana Mardi Gras, not a New Orleans Mardi Gras, but a country Cajun Mardi Gras, and they did a film. They filmed an episode there, and when we got to talking about the thing, which is the boucherie, which is where you do the pig in the first thing in the morning, and you render it as a community throughout that day and process the pig, and that's a boucherie. And that was something that when David Simon found out about that, he knew that Anthony Bourdain No Reservation would be definitely, that's their sort of thing. So
sure.
So he got in touch with them and their producers, and they came and did an episode.
So
pretty much.
So it had to be pretty exciting to be working on the HBO series.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was interesting. It's a big production. It's a real, I finally found out what a grip is.
and a best boy.
That's the best boy. Yeah. So has that led to more interest by filming groups?
Not really, no.
Okay, nice. So that was. It's good to have those brief shining moments now.
Well, Eric has had an acting career since then.
Yeah, that's true.
I made dozens.
Yeah. I think people got tired of us breaking their TVs from the inside.
Oh, yeah. There's such a thing as overexposure too. I think the American public had just about been saturated with the Revelers.
That's true.
Right. Well, we are seeing a string of folks from down your way come through. Fofele.
Has
made good friends of ours.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So, are there ongoing collaborative efforts with these new bands, the old bands?
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, the first record we made was with Chris Stafford, who is sort of Mr. Fufale himself.
Especially now.
Yes, and he plays accordion and guitar and sings, and we made our first record with him as the engineer, and like I said, sort of putting on that, sometimes that drifts into the producer hat. So that's just one example of us sort of being on the same team, and the same Lafayette music scene is, and especially what we're doing is, I would say, is a pretty close-knit community.
Well,
There's a lot of we cook, and people come over
Yeah.
and play music and jam, and we sit in with each other at shows. And
Blake
come out to each
mentioned
other's
all the
shows.
bands that were around town, and there's probably 20 bands with 10 musicians.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically how it is.
Yeah, it's one band and everybody's in it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
You'll get a chance to play if you want. Just,
Yeah,
just show
pretty
up.
much. Yeah.